Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom doesn't come out till December of this year, but there has been numerous test screenings, and our most recent test screening seems to show that the movie may be in a little bit of trouble. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is the sequel to the first Aquaman. Jason Momoa returns as Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, and this time he has to team up with an unlikely ally, his own brother Orm, as they both tackle an unknown enemy from deep underwater. Some even said that it's reminiscent of Thor and Loki for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jason Momoa recently said it's a bit of a brother's journey, so it's a lot of funny stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that's just what's going on in our environment. Talking about climate change and just hitting on certain things that I wanted to hit on. Just a lot of laughs and also a lot of pain, so there's wonderful action. And according to Scooper's recent test screening, had Jason Momoa pitted against an upgraded Black Manta in an epic battle using tridents. There's a ton of underwater CGI, underwater battles, reminiscent of the first Aquaman, and also the most recent Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. But with the recent controversy with Amber Heard, many people are wondering if she was in the movie. And according to this test screening, Amber Heard is still Mera in this movie. In fact, she is in about 20 minutes of the film. But there was also the question about Batman. And this has been going back and forth between Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. At first, when Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was going to come out after the Flash movie, they had filmed Michael Keaton in 2 scenes. The first scene is where Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne tells Arthur Curry that there is something wrong underwater. And then Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne shows up at the end of the film where Arthur Curry makes a speech at the UN. But then when the dates changed and Aquaman the Lost Kingdom was going to come out before the Flash, they scrapped all the Michael Keaton scenes and replaced them with Ben Affleck instead. And then when they changed the dates again, Aquaman the Lost Kingdom comes out after the Flash, they put Michael Keaton scenes back in the movie and took out Ben Affleck's. But it didn't end there. When James Gunn and Peter Safran took over for DC Studios, and they had no intention for continuing Michael Keaton as Batman, nor Ben Affleck as Batman, they decided to take out all the Bruce Wayne scenes altogether. And just to let you know, before this recent test screening, Scoopers were saying that the test audience only gave this a mediocre score. But the recent test screening was pretty quiet. One scooper by the name of Casey Walsh had said there were significant changes to the plot, but nothing that connects it to the DCEU. Scooper Viewer Anon went on Reddit and said this: "I'll be honest, we're half a dozen test screenings in and it's not looking great. I've consistently heard over the last half year or so that it's boring. Not as good as the first, and potentially one of the worst DCEU movies." Scooper by the name of Big Screen Leaks backs this up, saying there's a reason I've been avoiding any questions about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, but since Viewer Non put it out there, it brings me no joy to back him up and tell you that test screenings for this film have not been good. Really hoping Juan fixes this movie before December. I heard that something that almost never happened in test screenings happened with this movie. They're really going to need to fix this one and fix it fast. Which other scoopers corroborated this and said that something that happened during this test screening was an audience member or members actually walked out of this movie. Another scooper by the name of Jeff Schneider says, "I hear it's terrible, and that's why Momoa is gonna be Lobo going forward. But they can't say that yet because then it will be a lame duck. And DC is hoping to wring another billion out of the box office. First one was awful too, so not a huge surprise." Now personally, I enjoyed the first Aquaman. I thought it was a fun movie, and it did really do well in the box office. Now it doesn't come out till December, so there is a lot of time to fix things that needs to be fixed, or will they just write this one off too?